And welcome back. Democrats aren't just trying to win the White House, they want to flip control of the House. And with Republicans holding only a narrow majority, a small number of races could determine who controls the lower chamber. Washington Democratic Congresswoman and chair of the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, Suzan DelBene, is here now. Congresswoman, great to see you. Thanks for being here. So, as we mentioned, Republicans control the House by such a narrow margin. Can you kind of handicap how many seats Democrats need to flip and how many you think they can?
Well, we need to net 4 more seats to take back the majority. So just pick up 4 seats to take back the majority. And we are in a very strong position. We have incredible candidates across the country running to flip seats. We have 33 candidates. We call them our red to blue candidates. Working to flip seats across the country, and the American people are with us. They want to see governance work. They're tired of the dysfunction and the chaos and the extremism from House Republicans. And so we have an incredible opportunity. We have races all over the country, and we're in a strong position. We're going to work hard through these next 14 days to make it happen.
And you have races all over the country, but really the road through to the majority runs through blue states like New York and California. Why is this a challenge for Democrats in those states?
Well, we have opportunities in states like New York and California, absolutely. We also have opportunities in Iowa, Nebraska, Montana, Alabama. So our map crosses all over the country with opportunities where we have to pick up seats. And it's because folks want people who are going to represent their communities, who are going to work to get policy done that moves our country forward. And they're tired of the do-nothing Congress that Republicans have led in the House. That's why this is so important. People know this election is about our rights, our freedoms, our democracy, and our future. And I have been traveling across the country to our battleground districts and see that incredible enthusiasm, people out knocking on doors, making phone calls, doing all they can to make sure we turn out the vote in the next 2 weeks.
And do you want your candidates to be campaigning with Kamala Harris?
Well, we've had candidates campaigning with Kamala Harris. We have campaigns in districts that where the presidential hasn't been the focus, and so we have candidates running everywhere. And we know that Kamala Harris has brought incredible enthusiasm across the country, energy, and we see that in our volunteers all across the country, increased fundraising that we've seen across the country. But this is really about our candidates. We have incredible candidates who are independent thinkers, who are really talking about the issues that are very important to the districts that they're running in. That's what makes the difference, having our incredibly strong candidates, making sure they have the resources, and our candidates have been outraising their Republican opponents across the board. And so we are in a very strong position when we have the right people, we have the resources, and we have the energy on the ground.
And do you think Democrats are better positioned with Harris atop the ticket than they were with Biden?
We have incredible enthusiasm out there. Definitely Vice President Harris and Governor Walz has brought incredible energy. We have seen that. We had our strongest fundraising right after she was named the top of the ticket. We just have a lot of energy on the ground, people who are excited to get out the vote and understand what's at stake this election and the huge difference that we see between not only Vice President Harris and Donald Trump, but the huge difference we see between Democratic candidates across the country and the extremism of Republican candidates.
Given that, however, are there any districts where you think Democrats might show a willingness to work with Trump?
Well, we've always been focused on getting things done. And so our candidates across the country and our incumbents who are running, our frontliners who are running in targeted districts across the country, they talk about moving things forward for their communities. And they know to get things done means working with others to get bills passed that make a difference for our communities and our country. We want to govern. In fact, we're trying to elect more people who are interested in governing. It's Republicans who haven't been interested in governing, who have prevented bills from coming forward and seem to be incapable of making independent decisions. They wait for Donald Trump to tell them what to do. People are tired of that. They want folks who are going to govern, who are going to put our communities first. Those are the folks that we have running, and that's one big reason why they're going to win.
In some of these districts, particularly in New York, you have some Republican incumbents who have been able to kind of distance themselves from their top of the ticket, but also win in places that Biden won. And I'm curious what the strategy is to flip those seats when voters have, essentially shown that they're willing to split their ticket.
Well, there aren't any moderate Republicans left in the House of Representatives. They've all left some primaries or refused to stand up against the extremism in their party. And we are going to hold them accountable for that. We've been holding folks accountable in races like in New York for the extreme positions they've taken. They may try to couch themselves as moderates, but they're anything but. So we are going to make sure people are aware of the votes they've taken, the stances they've taken, in particular against women's reproductive freedom. There's a great example. We've seen folks trying to take credit for legislation they voted against. So we are going to continue to hold them accountable, and we have strong candidates running. And so we have incredible opportunities to flip districts in New York. And we already flipped one on Long Island when Tom Suozzi won in New York 3 earlier this year.
All right, just a couple weeks before Election Day, we'll soon find out who wins the White House and the House, hopefully, as well. Suzan DelBene, Congresswoman, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.